So now with Gemini going into Uranus in this particular time and space pertaining to the mind, the intellectual development, we are going to have souls opting or striving more for individuation through their choices, going into a really radical time in which it's going to be more and more difficult to generalize groups of people. And we can look at this on another level just in terms of genetic mixing and all of that. When we really focus on this intellectually, this is really about how we are expressing our ideas. And what the AI does is accelerates the ability to learn about a concept. Then with the presence of Neptune and Saturn and Aries, the more you can put into action what you are learning, the more you're becoming that. So these are some of the reasons why I know or feel Uranus will greatly accelerate individuation. Now, what's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be discussing Uranus, or Uranus as many call it, the planet of rebellion, the Great Awakener, and contrasting that with the concept of individuation. We'll take a look at why Uranus's transit into the sign of Gemini will accelerate individuation for us all. So let's get into it. All right, party people. On July 7th, Uranus will transit into the sign of Gemini, where it's going to stay for 7 years. And before we fully transition in, I encourage you all to reflect on what Uranus and Taurus meant and did for you. To be real, it injected a whole lot of financial freedom into this game of life. Everyone had an opportunity to make some moolah and improve their situation. If you go back and look at the journey 2018 to now, you will see. And the pandemic was only one slice of that. If I had to give a first place or winner of Uranus and Taurus, I think undoubtedly I'd give it to Kai Cenat. Shout out that young man. He is living it, and I look forward to continuing to track his evolution, his influence, and see what he does with all that he's been given. But I think Uranus and Taurus has been very good to him, and he's a great example of he didn't just make one video and blow up. There was a journey for him, and he hit his stride. And being that he is a child of Jupiter, a Sagittarius sun, he cashed in on the blessings connected to his sun sign and all of that. It's truly been a journey to watch, especially when you're not a hater. So there was this thing about that I want to talk about, people being haters. And this kind of pertains to the fixed energy aspect of Pluto and Aquarius and groups and all of that. I want you guys to know that it's really essential to focus on your own happiness and really take seriously the understanding that you can't please everybody, and that others who may have once loved you for who you were may grow to envy or despise you because your growth upsets or reflects something in them. It's real. And the more Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, that's like a theme we can't get away from, and it's going to force healthy detachment. So when we add Uranus and Gemini here, this is duality. They always try to come for us Geminis, talk about two-face this, two-face that. No, it's just a great duality. And getting into talking more about Uranus and Gemini, we got to take into account the whole picture. All the outer planets have made drastic shifts. Pluto is in Aquarius, where Uranus has natural resonance. We got Saturn and Neptune here in Aries, bringing the telling us to fight for your right. Focus on you, do what you can, understand your own power. And then Uranus here in Gemini is the intellectual icing on the cake. What this does here, and if you really look at Uranus transits, it levels the playing field. How does it level the playing field? Technological advancements. Okay, if you go back and just look at every ever, you'll see how Uranus offers a chance to get ahead of the curve, to innovate in your space. And many of us have benefited from Aries to now. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, drop a comment, let me know. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I want to let you guys know that I'm offering transit readings. Come through. Let me give you an understanding of what the changes of the outer planets mean for you. Check it out, GeminiBrown.com. So next time, peace. So when it comes on to Uranus, in Gemini, we can clearly see that this is pertaining to the rise of AI. And I'm just here to further reinforce the message. Use the AI. Don't let the AI use you. If you understand your own psychology, you know that human beings can become dependent or addicted to anything. So, in your use and understanding of AI, be mindful of these things and know that there's no greater power outside of us than within. Okay? So, as your trusted advisor and astrologer, I'm encouraging you to not fear the AI. Learn how to integrate it into your reality, make it a part of your skill set to further accentuate your individuality. Now, when it comes to the concept of individuation, this is something that was developed by the psychologist Carl Jung. And individuation simply means becoming your most authentic self. The context for this and how I view things in the matrix context is that there are different levels of being. There's a personality level, there's a soul level, and then there's a spiritual level, or what we can look at as the individuated state. That means that a person can be born fourth house heavy, be completely absorbed, have love for their culture, but exist or make a mark in the world that is far greater than them being defined or constrained to just the identity of the culture they were born into. This is greatly seen when we look at what we are attracted to romantically. Using the same kind of concept, I always tell people, one of the harder things to do in this life is to be born into a family-oriented, dynamic, heavy culture, religious, whatever, and really choose a love for yourself that isn't solely defined by that. You're going to have people who are born at a level where they're conditioned to make the simulated or easy logical choices. So when it comes to individuation, these types of souls have always existed throughout time, and they've always been tied to Uranian energy or Aquarian energy, hence being ahead of your time. So now with Gemini going into Uranus in this particular time and space, pertaining to the mind, the intellectual development, we are going to have souls opting or striving more for individuation through their choices. Now, one thing you got to always know with astrology is that to study astrology is to be in on the energetic understanding and movements of things. But remember, you don't need to consciously know these things for it to work through you. So what I'm highlighting here is that we're going into a really radical time in which it's going to be more and more difficult to generalize groups of people. And we can look at this on another level just in terms of genetic mixing and all of that. But then when we really focus on this intellectually, this is really about how we are expressing our ideas. And what the AI does is accelerates the ability to learn about a concept. Then with the presence of Neptune and Saturn and Aries, the more you can put into action what you are learning, the more you're becoming that. So these are some of the reasons why I know or feel Uranus will greatly accelerate individuation. Now, just let's say looking at your own chart and seeing how individuation works for you, you'll always want to look at if you have any personal planets aspecting Uranus, where that is, or show where you develop your individuation, the path that you take, and the idea is that the more you exercise that within one realm, the easier it becomes to be your true self in others. So guys, it's just a little bit I wanted to highlight about this transit. I hope you guys are excited. As I said before, I'm offering transit readings. Would love to break down how this influence is, playing out for you and how you can take advantage. So check out my website, GeminiBrown.com. Drop a comment. Let me know how things are going. Till next time.